This is section 1.7, part B. And we're going to be looking at unit analysis. Note that there is a page entitled Additional Materials at the end of part B for a list of conversion facts. So if you look on page 66, you'll see something like this, your list of conversion facts. So we're going to want to refer to both of these pages to complete these examples. Okay. When we do conversions, something like this between inches and centimeters, we want to write the original quantity in original units. So I'm going to start with something like this, 14 inches times, and want to multiply by a fraction so that the units that you want to eliminate appear in one numerator. So this one I could put over 1 and one denominator. So if these units are already in a numerator, I need to make sure that I can also write inches in the denominator. So we look for a fact that has inches and centimeters in it, and I will write the int information in the denominator. So inch, centimeter, 1 inch is 2.54 centimeters. 1 inch must go in the denominator to get my inch units to cancel. That means that the 2.54 centimeters must go in the numerator. Okay. In a fraction, when you multiply, items in the numerator can cancel out with items in the denominator. So this is going to give us centimeters once I multiply the numbers together. So 14 times 2.54 is 35.56 centimeters. You multiply the denominators together also, but that's just 1, so divide by 1, you still get 35.56 centimeters. All right, we're going to look at a few more. Looking at the next one, you always start with what you're given, which is 28 pounds. If I want to do a conversion into ounces, I need to find a fact that tells me something about pounds and ounces. I know those are both English measurements. I can look over here. 1 pound is 16 ounces. Okay, so 1 pound, if I have pound on top, I need to make sure I have pound on bottom so I can cancel, and 16 ounces. Okay, so similarly, pounds in the numerator, pounds in the denominator, the pound unit cancels, and I have 28 times 16. If you multiply those together, you get 448. Divided by 1 is still 448 ounces. Okay, the next one. The next one starts as 1.75 liters, and I want to convert that one to fluid ounces. Okay, looking for my conversion fact, liters are metric, so I'm looking over here, liters in fluid ounces. So that number that goes with liters should be 0.030. So if liters start on the top, the number for liters, 0.030 liters, needs to go on the bottom. That was equal to 1 fluid ounce. Okay. Now, liters are going to cancel. When you finish your multiplication, you should be in fluid ounces. Okay. If you multiply across the top, 1.75 times 1 is 1.75. And across the bottom, 1 times 0.03 is 0.030, and then you just divide. Okay, you have a division problem this time. So 1.75 divided by 0.030 is 58.3 repeating. So I will have 58.333 fluid ounces. Okay. The next one, 40 weeks into hours. Start with 40 weeks. And this one's going to take us a couple of steps because I don't know how many hours are in a week, but I do know how many days are in a week. So I could start with week 1, week in the bottom is equal to 7 days. And I know how many hours are in a day, so I could say that 1 day, again, day has to go in the bottom, corresponds to 24 hours. So 2 steps in this one. In the first step, weeks would cancel and leave you with days. In the second step, days would cancel and leave you with hours, which is your desired result. So you're going to multiply all the numbers in the numerator and all the numbers in the denominator. So in the numerator, 40 times 7 times 24 gives you 6,720. Divided by 1 times 1 is 1. You are left with 6,720 hours in 40 weeks. Okay. All right, 2 more on this page. We have 360 square inches is how many feet? So the first thing to note is that anytime you have a square unit, when you square something, you multiply it by itself. So that means inches times inches. So inches there twice, and so I'm going to have to use the conversion fact between inches and feet twice to get rid of each of those inch units. So I know that 1 foot is 12 inches. So I can put 12 inches down here and 1 foot on the top. That's going to eliminate one of the inch units. I still need to eliminate the other inch unit, so you use the same conversion again. 12 inches is still 1 foot. And if I eliminate this inch unit, my units that are remaining are going to be feet times feet, which is feet squared. Okay, so I've got 360 times 1 is 360, divided by 12 times 12 is 144. And then I need to calculate that value. So 360 divided by 144 is 2.5 square feet. 2.5 feet squared. Letter F is going to be similar, but instead of square meters, I'm going to have cubic meters. So this is 13 meters times meters times meters. And I want to turn this into yards. I'm going to need to use the same conversion fact 3 times. The conversion fact from meters to yards is that 1 yard is equal to 0.9144 meters. Meters are on top, so meters need to go on bottom. 0.9144 meters is 1 yard. I need to write that 3 times to cancel each of those meters. 1 yard, 0.944. 144 meters, 1 yard is 0.9144 meters. Okay, that's going to cancel each of these. 1 meters cancel, the second of the meters cancel, and the third of the meters cancel. The result will be yards times yards times yards, which is cubic yards. Okay, so that's 13 divided by 0.9144 times 0.9144 times, oops, I typed that one wrong, 0.9144, 0.9144. So 13 divided by 0.76455. So you take 13 and divide it by, just hit up to select that number, you don't have to type the whole thing, and we get 17.003 cubic yards, or yards cubed. Okay. So the next page, which is actually on the back of that conversion sheet, is going to give us a couple of problems that are going to just be worded in paragraph form instead of just giving us the goal. Okay, so in the first one, as of 2010, the largest man-made structure was this building in the United Arab Emirates, and it is 828 meters tall. How tall is it in feet? So I'm starting with 828 meters, and I want to convert that to feet. Okay, I need to flip onto the back of this page to find that conversion. So meters to feet, 0.3048 meters is equal to 1 foot. So that will go on the bottom. 0.3048 meters is equal to 1 foot. And that will allow meters to cancel. So 828 times 1, then divide it by 0.3048. So that would give me 828 divided by 0.3048. So it's 2,716 feet tall. I don't know if that's still the largest building. I know that they were building one in India, but I'm not sure if it's finished yet. That was supposed to be taller. But at the time, this one was the tallest building in the world. 2,716 feet. Okay. Part B. The red meat production in Iowa is around 585 million pounds per year. Convert this to ounces per day. So this is going to be a multi-step one. I need to convert million pounds per year into ounces per day. Okay. Let's just leave million as a unit. And we're going to start with pound, LB for pound, per. Remember that per is a division word like it is in slope. So when I see per year, I'm going to put that year in the denominator. Per year like that. I'm going to be converting into ounces per day, which means I want to convert pounds into ounces and years into days. So let's work on pounds first. Okay. If you flip to the back, you can see that pounds, 1 pound is equal to 16 ounces. I can use that conversion fact. So I can put 1 pound in the denominator is equal to 16 ounces, and that will allow pounds to cancel. So now I'm in ounces per year, but I want to go further. I want to go to days. So 1 year in the bottom, I know that 1 year on the top is equal to 365 days in the denominator. And that's going to allow years to cancel and give final units as ounces per day. Okay, so multiply all the numbers across the top. That's 585 times 16 times 1. So on the top, I should have 9,360. And across the bottom, 1 times 1 times 365. Okay, so if I divide 9,360 by 365, we get 25.64. And don't forget to put your millions back in there because that was part of the units in the original. Million ounces per day. All right. 2 more here. Part C. A driver travels at 50 miles per hour. Write that down. 50 miles. Remember, per is a long division line, so over hours. What's the driver's speed in meters per second? So I want to convert miles into meters and hours into seconds. So let's work on miles to meters first. There are a couple different ways to get there. The way I'm going to start is a mile is 1.6093 kilometers. I'm going to work on that fact first. So 1 mile goes in the denominator is equal to 1.6093 kilometers. Okay, that gets rid of mile for us and converts us into kilometers. From there, since you're in the metric system, you need to know the prefixes for the metric system. A kilometer is the same thing as 1,000 meters. You've got kilometers, then you've got decameters, hectometers, and kilometers. So 1 kilometer is the same thing as 1,000 meters. So I need to use that conversion to go from kilometers to meters. Okay. On the back in the conversion section, it just tells you the prefixes. The prefix meter is the base, and if I wanted to go to the kilometer, it'd be 10, 100, 1,000. So that's how I know that it's 1,000 kilometers in a meter. The prefix system helps you figure out how to convert, whether it's in grams or meters or liters. Okay. So again, this one would be 10, this one would be 100, and that one's 1,000. This way it would be 1/10 or 0.1, 0.01, 0.001, just for reference. Not quite finished. We want meters per second instead of meters per hour. So we need to also convert hours into seconds. So I know that hours in the denominator, so I'm going to put 1 hour in the top, and 1 hour is equal to 60 minutes. Then I'm going to convert again because I know that 1 minute is equal to 60 seconds. That's going to allow me to convert from hours, get rid of hours, from minutes, get rid of minutes, into seconds. So my units I'm left with are meters per second, which is my goal, meters per second. So we're going to multiply all the numbers across the top, all the numbers across the bottom, and then we're going to divide. So across the top, we have 50 times 1.6093 times 1,000. So on the top, we have 80,465. Across the bottom, 60 times 60 is 3,600. So if I divide by 3,600, we get 22.35 meters per second. And you can just write it like that, or you can write it out in terms of the PER written out. The slash also works for meters per second. The last one. A nurse has on hand morphine, 500 milligrams, and 200 milliliters of normal saline. She needs to administer a morphine drip, 80 milligrams per hour, and a continuous IV infusion to a patient with terminal cancer pain. How many milliliters per hour will she set in the controller? Okay, so questions like this often have the conversion fact in the problem. So we need to figure out where we're starting and then where we need to go. Okay, we need to start with the amount that we want to administer. This is what she's going to give the patient. She's going to give the patient an 80 milligram per hour infusion. So we're going to start there. 80 milligrams per hour are her orders. Okay, and my goal is to convert this into milliliters per hour. So I'm actually going to keep hour. I don't need to turn it into minutes. I want to keep it in terms of hours for my goal. So that's okay. And I want to turn it into milliliters. Okay. Now, in order to get there, in order to change milligrams into milliliters, I use this conversion. This particular mixture of drug that she has 500 milligrams diluted into 250 milliliters. That's my conversion for this one. With this medication, milligrams are on top here, so I need the milligrams in the bottom. With this medication, 500 milligrams is equal to 250 milliliters. And that's going to be different depending on what the medication is. But that's the ratio for this one. So milligrams would cancel. If I finish this multiplication, I'm going to have milliliters per hour, which is my goal. So across the top, I need to multiply 80 times 250. That gives me 20,000. And across the bottom, that's just 1 times 500 is 500. If I divide that by 500, we get 40. So the answer is going to be 40 milliliters per hour. And that's the end of part A.